Hello everyone, this is Melanie Joy and welcome to yet another episode of LifePoint. Today we have with us wonderful business entrepreneur, Wendy Tabor. She is owner of iWork uniforms. How are you, Wendy?
Good, how are you doing?
Nice to have you here.
Nice to be here, thank you.
So I'm very proud of you. You're an entrepreneur. It's a hard job.
Yes.
Trust me, I know. But how did you start in this business? Tell me a little more background about that.
The business started out, my idea for the business started out with my parents, my mother and my father, and they owned an industrial uniform business for many years. You know, they sold work pants, work shirts, coveralls, work jackets, all kinds of things for those working men, rather. So when they closed the business down, they had some overflow of that industrial uniforms. And I decided that I was going to try to reopen the business. So in doing that, we kind of started off in a flea market setting, you know, selling just the men's industrial workwear. And I decided to, you know, bump it up a little bit, take it to a retail location, see if I can add medical restaurant apparel. Okay. And that's where we are today.
Okay. So as a client, if I walk into your store, what can I expect to see in there?
So what you can expect to see now is medical uniforms. Okay. And, you know, before medical uniforms just were basic scrubs, you know, now we've got name brand. Okay. You know, so we have Rampage, we have some, we can get Baby Fat. They all make scrubs. There's Crocs. There's a new scrub line called Wink that we can carry. Okay. And that's what you'll find. And then a lot of hospitals do solid colors and we carry those. And for the restaurant apparel, we carry the chef jackets, chef hats, chef pants. And also the same industrial line that
I want to come get some Crocs from you, just because I know they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. And also iWork. Like, how did you come up with that title for your business?
Well, you know, with the, you know, not saying that it's an Apple or it has nothing to do with non-relation, but you know, it's just that people work, and you know, I work, and you know, I want to present the image is that. You know, you dress to impress, even if it's work.
Absolutely. And everybody should definitely do that. Yes. You know what I mean? Because you have to like what you do and look like you like what you do. So now you told me that you implemented children's uniforms just recently. How has that been going?
That we just started that maybe about 2 weeks ago, and we've been actively trying to go around to the different private schools and let them know that now locally they can come and order their uniforms where they don't have to worry about shipping. They don't worry about having to run out of the size, of course, unless the manufacturer is on back order. And they don't have to travel over 50 miles to go get uniforms either. So it makes it more convenient.
Absolutely. So how did you find your first location? Because I know you have one in Fredericksburg and in Frederick, Maryland.
Yes.
So how did you find that first one and then the second one?
Well, the Fredericksburg, Virginia location, we just looked for open retail space, and I kind of wanted it downtown Fredericksburg because it's kind of like an old town type of flair, and you know, people, there's a lot of tourists, and it's a very pretty area. So we found some empty retail space that we had the opportunity to, you know, renovate it ourselves, put the floor down, paint it, so it's all related to, you know, our own personal you know, how we like the color. Yeah. So the next location was somebody was selling their business. So what I did was I purchased their existing business because it was going out of business, and now I'm working to try to rebuild that location.
Excellent. And I know that's a lot of work for you, because any business is a lot of work, and 2 locations is extremely a lot of work. Yes. And you are a nurse currently, so and you have kids. Yes. So how have your kids inspired your business?
Well, my kids, you know, are very busy. I have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old, and you know, they're very active, and so sometimes you want them to have a role model, and they inspire me to keep, you know, trying to say, if there's anything you want to do, you can accomplish it as long as you have help and God. So, you know, God first in your life, and you can accomplish anything.
Excellent.
So that's the message I'm trying to send to them.
Do they know what mommy's doing? You're like proud of you? And because I know I was looking for you, and they were like, who's the first guest? They're like, my mommy, you know? So I was like, okay. Supportive kids. Yes. So is this something, you know, your parents did it. Did you grow up wanting to kind of do what they did, or were interested in what they did at all? Or as you got older, you're like,
as I got older, and sometimes you kind of look for, you know, well, what am I going to do after I retire? Am I always going to work in the hospital, or you know what? And that was something I said, you know what, I would like to own my own retail chain. If it could become a chain, so you never know. So I think that's how I come up to do that.
So for people, you know, who want to open a retail chain or younger people, how do you explain to them how to do it, or what words of encouragement do you have?
Well, I would let them know. Sometimes people always tell you shouldn't do that, you can't do it, you shoulda, coulda, woulda. If you have in your mind to do it, and you have God, you always have God backing you if it's the right thing to do. And they just need to plan. You know, if it's their dream, go after it. And you know, the worst thing could happen is that, you know, some doors will get shut, some doors will be open, and they just keep going.
And try to get as much education on the subject as you possibly can. That's a huge thing.
And know your product, know who your competition is, and you know, sometimes you always want to be better than the competition and still provide excellent customer service.
Right. I always feel like, you know, people should compete with themselves first, and then, you know, compete with, you know, the other people around them as well, because I mean, it's good competition, you know, as long as you're not putting anybody down, it's fair game, you know, and you will be blessed. So Wendy, we have a part of the show that we do. We ask questions.
Okay.
And these are fast questions, and these are just off subject.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the first question. Try to answer with one word or less, if you can. So I'm going to shoot them at you. If you could do anything else, what would you do? If you would be any other employee in kind of a
like trade?
Trade, yes.
I guess it would be I would say a professional photographer, like a magazine photographer for models or something like that. Yep.
That's a fun subject. If you were the president, you would?
If I was the president, I would decrease the cost of health care.
We need that.
Yeah.
So
tremendously.
Wendy for president next time, y'all. If you could be a bird, where would you go?
Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Have you been to Hawaii?
I have not.
Hawaii is wonderful. Okay, I can do a whole subject on Hawaii, so I'm not going to go there. But Hawaii is actually, it's wonderful, and Hawaiians actually have the longest lifespan. One of the longest lifespans in the world, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, I understand why.
Okay,
yeah. So, but if I could be a fruit, I would be.
I would be a peach.
Peach. A Georgia peach?
Yeah, Georgia peach.
Okay, I like that answer. Well, when you tell everybody, look in the camera, let everybody know where they can find you at.
We have 2 locations. First location is in Fredericksburg, Virginia, 612 Caroline Street. And we also have a location in Frederick, Maryland, which is at 1450 West Patrick Street. And we can be found on the web at www.iworkuniforms.com. And you can also like us on Facebook.
Yay. Well, it was wonderful having you here, Wendy.
Nice
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. Thank
Wonderful. And we will be right back with our next guest. And welcome back to LifePoint. Our next guest is Miss Tracy Malone, National Director of Miss Metropolitan Pageants. Tracy, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Nice to have you here.
You too.
So tell us more about this exciting pageant you have going on.
Okay, well, this pageant system is for girls ages 3 to 20 who reside in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. We have some awesome areas of competition, evening wear, a fabulous evening wear parade, a personal interview with judges, and a personal introduction that each contestant will do. And then we also have optional contests such as talent, speech, modeling, academic excellence, volunteer service, and Miss Photogenic.
Great. Now, how do you are you in the process of selecting these people, or do you judge, or do you screen?
Well, we've been recruiting for contestants since last November, and we have 91 contestants so far, and we're still going until about June 15th. That's when we'll close registration and then really start focusing on those to prepare those contestants.
Okay. So what do you suggest to people who want to be in this pageant? What do you suggest that they do to prepare to come and audition or come to prepare for the pageant?
Well, we encourage contestants to get a pageant coach if they can afford one or if they have the means to get one. But you know, you don't have to have any experience at all because we prepare all of the contestants through mailings, through email notifications, and at the actual pageant they go through a rehearsal and they have lots and lots of training so that they really can shine on stage.
I've watched some pageants on TV, and some of these kids are very sharp, they're very precise, and the movements, even from 3 years old, you know, just at 3, I don't think I had the patience. Or, you know, like my badness took over, do you know what I mean? So my sister, like I said before, she was in them, but I just witnessed a lot, you know, growing up and in the pageants, but some of these mothers can be pageant moms. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, there's very good sides to pageants as well. You know, I think it teaches kids a lot of discipline as well.
Right.
So what do you find that kids learn from pageants, being in pageants?
Well, if contestants look at or watch Toddlers in Tears, they might get a different perspective on pageants. But our objective with the Miss Metropolitan Pageants is to really allow contestants to grow into mature young women, to teach them etiquette, to teach them those life skills that they'll need when they become adults.
Yes.
So I think that that's one of the most important traits.
I definitely find that the kids flourish, you know, when they're around other kids that are doing what they do, but they become more social. You know, some of these kids are their manners, you know, are wonderful, do you know? But I do think that, you know, with Toddlers in Tears, people get the wrong idea about pageants. But I feel like that's TV. That's the show they want to show you for entertainment. But there's really good sides of it. So were you ever in pageants like yourself?
I was. I actually was the former Miss Virginia teen, 1997. And I've always loved doing pageants, but I now am going into, you know, having my own pageant system. So.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So what sparked all of this? Is because you were in pageants before? Did you?
This has honestly been a lifelong dream of mine to have my own pageant system. Years ago, I started planning, and then I put down my plans and picked it up again a year or two later, then put them back down. And then one day, I was watching Toddlers in Tears, and I thought to myself, what on earth is going on here?
Right.
So I talked to my husband, and I figured that there had to be another way.
Yes.
And you know, there are good pageant systems, but I really wanted to make sure that instead of complaining about what I was seeing on TV, that I can make a difference.
My first glimpse of Toddlers in Tears was this little girl, just the Honey Boo Boo Child girl, you know, and I'm like, what is this little girl talk? She's very grown, you know, very sassy. I'm like, please, let's take her down a couple notches. But like, I think pageants are beautiful, and I think it's a beautiful thing what you're doing. So tell me about specific categories that you have going on in this pageant.
Okay, well, we require 3 categories, which are personal introduction, which each contestant will have about 20 seconds to introduce themselves, and they can be as unique as they want, as outgoing, just to show their personality. And then we have our evening wear competition, which is just a parade of evening wear. The main focus is modeling and grace and poise, while the focus for the personal introductions is teaching them how to, you know, public speaking and speaking in front of a crowd and not having stage fright. And then we have personal interview with judges, which is a one-on-one category with judges, and they'll ask them a variety of different questions just to see their personality and see, you know, how mature they are, how ready they are to, you know, not be in the pageant, but to be Miss Metropolitan.
Miss Metropolitan.
In their age division.
Do you think a lot of these younger kids know exactly what they're getting into and how the scale of it, or do you think they're just doing it for fun?
Well, we try to prepare the contestants by sending them newsletters, just to give them updates on ways to prepare themselves and just a glimpse of what the pageant will be like to prepare them. But in all honesty, when they arrive pageant weekend, we go through several rehearsals. We have a pageant workshop just to give them an idea of what they're going to be experiencing.
So prep them. So what is your personal favorite category or age group?
Well, I'm excited to see the parade of evening wear, to see all of the different attire that the girls will wear. And we have a specific guideline for what type of attire they can wear, but it'll be nice to see all of the different styles of gowns.
Okay, so if somebody would like to help or sponsor the pageant or get involved with it, how can they do that?
Okay, definitely. We're definitely looking for sponsors to help with pageant expenses, but they can go on our website, which is www.missmetropolitanpageants.com. They can find us on Facebook, or they can call the pageant office at 571-426-9266.
Excellent. And I will definitely love to be there.
Oh,
I will
great.
definitely come. You have my vote. Now, is there tickets or anything that you can buy? Is that how that works?
Tickets are online for $15.
Okay.
And contestants, friends and family, the community, it's open to the community. So
excellent.
You can purchase them online or at the door.
And what is the location of the pageant?
This year's pageant will be held at the Sheraton Crystal City in Arlington, Virginia, and it'll be held August 25th through 26th.
Excellent. So you guys are both parents. Like, how has that influenced you in your life? You know, not just your business, but how has it pushed you?
Well, you know, it's already rough raising kids anyway, and you know, when you have a business and you're trying to work full time, you still have to keep in mind you have 2 kids. That's always, you know, number one priority because they need you.
Yes.
And it's kind of like a relief because sometimes when you have a stressful day or you know something's going on, you just try to. When you see your kids, you know, it kind of lightens up your day. So, you know, it just has a big impact on me on a daily basis.
On a daily basis, okay. And do you ever get them involved in what you do?
I do. Every now and again, my daughter will come down to the store. She'll be with my mom at the store. She'll come with me. And, you know, sometimes it's a long day because, you know, she's still young.
Yes.
But she enjoys it.
Very much so. And I don't think we got your contacts. Did we get your contact information?
We're at www.iworkuniforms.com.
Excellent. And do you have Facebook or Twitter or anything?
You can like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. Excellent. And I know it's a lot to keep track of, multimedia. And do you guys have help with that at all?
Well, you know, the social media part is kind of, you know, people are on Twitter, Facebook, and, you know, it's kind of, you know, that's a new era of marketing that, you know, I'm just starting to get into, so yeah.
I want to say to you, because I also am on the same path, so keep up the good work, continue to inspire people, and what are your words of inspiration to young girls who want to be in pageants or young girls who want to be entrepreneurs?
Okay, well what I believe is that you can become anything that you want to, you truly can.
Yeah.
And we encourage contestants to fulfill their every dream and to accomplish their every goal.
Excellent.
Right along with Tracy.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want to do as long as you work hard at it and you be persistent. It's all about being persistent and just working hard because, you know, like I said before, a lot of people say, you know, you shouldn't do that or I wouldn't do that, but this is your dream. If it's your dream, you go after it.
Okay, can each of one of you recall an incident that maybe had you feeling defeated or like there was a big obstacle, you had to get over that wall, and how you got over it and the lesson that you learned from it?
Okay, well, for me, I know that I don't really have much assistance with the pageant.
Yeah.
So I'm always constantly sending out large packets, and just the prep work for that, the printing, the designing, just coming up with all of the verbiage, it can get a little discouraging, but at the end of the day, I know that this is what I'm supposed to do, and there's no turning back.
Yeah,
so.
It's definitely a passion. You can see it. And same thing with you?
Yeah, you know, sometimes I told you about there's another, in the Fredericksburg location, there is another uniform shop that's probably about 10 miles away. And, you know, when I first brought the business to Fredericksburg, with retail businesses, you have to go through a sales rep, and there's a couple of the vendors who were unwilling to sell me retail clothing because they wanted to give the other business the opportunity to thrive. And I thought that, you know, you can go to 5 different stores and get the same thing. You know, if they sell Coast, you know, Lever soap in 5 different stores, they don't stop CVS from selling it because Walmart is selling it. You know, it was kind of discouraging, but I continued to move on because that wasn't the only vendor that I could, you know, keep
pushing on.
Yeah, so I just kept pushing to get other merchandise, and it was a little discouraging at first, but I just kept moving.
Okay. So Tracy.
Yes.
The pageants. What obstacles have you overcame, like since you started the pageants, that have been like really hard on you, Dina? And I know you don't have a lot of help, like you said before, But what's like the biggest thing that you had to get through?
The biggest challenge is just finding a way to, our goal was to have at least 250 contestants.
Okay.
But we, haven't quite reached that goal. I'm not sure if we will by August, but anything's possible.
Yeah.
It's probably finding out where's the best place to advertise for the pageant system. We do Craigslist, we do, which is a free means of advertisement, but we do a lot of local magazines, and we do radio, but you never know which advertising method is going to generate
the most. Now, as far as you both, do you guys have a lot of family help, a lot of friend help, with the business at all?
No.
Not at all? Nope. So you're doing this on your own? It's like, nope, shut it down.
We will have some volunteers. We'll start recruiting for volunteers this month, and then I'll train them and
Okay. So in the future, what are your future plans for the pageant? What are your future plans? Like, where do you see yourselves from like 10 years from now, actually?
In 10 years, I am believing that our pageant system will be in all 50 states. We'll have pageant directors in each state or each region to expand the Miss Metropolitan brand.
Yes. Okay.
10 years. In 10 years, it'll be here before you know it. I can see, I want to add one more location. I'm not sure whether that'd be in DC or is in another part of Maryland, but I think that I would see myself owning 3 stores that maybe eventually would become a chain, just like Uniform City or some of the bigger names, and we'll see where that, right about there.
Do you guys ever like just look at what you're doing and just like, wow, like I've done a lot. Like I've actually put my dream into motion and fulfilled what I wanted to do this first year or two. Like, is it ever overwhelming to you?
To me, it is. I was thinking not too long ago, it's like, so here I am. I work a full-time job. I have 2 locations, one that is about an hour and a half away from each other. And then, I also I'm a Girl Scout leader, so I have that obligation too. It's kind of hard balancing, and family is priority, so trying to balance those 4 things are very hard. And it can be stressful sometimes. Sometimes you say to yourself, well, why am I doing this? But eventually I'll be able to rest. I don't have to do so much work because it'll be a self-running type of business, I'm hoping.
How about you, Tracy?
I agree 100%. Between family, church, the pageant, other businesses that I'm involved with, it can get a little busy from time to time. So
what are some ways you guys like relax after long? Like it's been a stressful day, a stressful week, and you just like, this is it. I'm cutting the world off. This is me. Like, what do you guys do to like relax and just think about everything?
Well, I really look forward to the weekends. Family time. We just get in the car and we just go. Spending time with my son and my husband. It's a joy. So I look forward to the weekends.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it seems like it ends from the week right on into the weekend for me. Right. So anytime I get a chance to, relax with the family and not do anything related to business or work, is always a good thing. And sometimes, Sunday mornings going to church, like you said, it's just you have a time to relax yourself. You don't have any stressors to be thinking about. So, definitely family and being at church.
Okay. So I asked Wendy earlier, like, if you weren't doing this, where do you see yourself? Like, what else would you be doing?
I've always wanted to be a teacher.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Great.
So I would, try to pursue teaching.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is there any subject in particular that you would like to teach?
I'm a numbers kind of gal, so probably
mathematics.
math.
Yeah, excellent. I'll have you. I need your tutoring.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know, I'm also an entrepreneur too, and I know it's a lot of work, and I know you get a lot of negative feedback and a lot of positive feedback, but I feel like everybody should grow from the negative and the positive. Right. Now, in your experiences, as far as feedback goes, like what was some feedback that you obtained that was not good that you had to get through, do you know what I mean, to get to the next level that you had to fight through, that people wouldn't help you or people said you couldn't do it? Did you get any of that, like trying to start your business?
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes, with the economy, banks aren't lending much funds as they used to live. So your business plan, even your business plan could be top notch, but if the person doesn't feel that it might be a thriving business, then you get denied. And one of the things with the economy, money's just not available like it used to be years ago. So people who are starting off may have to use second mortgages on their homes. You may have to use your own personal savings, or you finance it through home equity loans. I didn't already say that.
Yes.
So that was one of the things. So some of the positive feedback is that between my husband and my mom, who encouraged me to move forward if that's what I wanted to do, to keep moving. And one good thing to hear is that people say, you know what, we didn't know you were here. We're glad you're here.
Yeah,
you hear that from some customers that come through the door. I'm glad you're down here. I didn't really know you were here. That's always good to hear, instead of just maybe nobody coming through or things like that.
That's excellent. You definitely have to reach out to the community as a business owner, and I think that's a big part of it. Like, people try to jump ahead, but I think community is what helps you grow. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
And they will definitely help you if you're in a good place.
Right.
I know. Back to Hawaii, but like back in Hawaii, I feel like there's such community out there. They're like family. It's very, very close, and I was very thoroughly impressed with them. The kids call you auntie, call you uncle. You know what I mean? Everybody's related. So I find that they thrive through that. So I feel like every place should have a bigger sense of community if they don't already have it already. So I think that's a huge part in being successful and giving back. When you give back, you receive.
Right. That's
so
true.
Do you guys ever look into the future as far as like charity work or giving back to the community? And if so, how would you want to do that?
Okay. Well, with our pageant system, all of the winners will participate in some philanthropic events, feeding the homeless. We also are partnering with an orphanage in Sierra Leone to, it's called Princess for a Day, and we're going to save money to send them dresses and crowns so that they can feel special in the orphanage, and in books, and just a pen pal program as well.
That's excellent. Wendy?
Good. We've had some charity work going on thus far. We've had a couple. At the hospital I work, there's like a bulletin board, and people post on there some things they're selling or things they may want. And just recently, a young lady had posted that she knows somebody who is trying to get a job who doesn't have any uniforms, if somebody wanted to donate their old uniforms to her. So I reached out and I told her that what size is she, for one, and two, I will give her 3 sets of uniforms to get her started, and she came to pick those up. I also am looking into trying to sponsor a nursing student, maybe buying their books for somebody that's less fortunate, that they can't get their books or may not be able to purchase all of them. So I'm looking to do some of that. And also we have a domestic violence shelter within our community, so I'm going to look to do some things with them also.
Excellent. And as far as you being a nurse, does that help your business as well? Do you get referrals a lot? Because word of mouth is huge.
Yeah, I do. Because most of my friends, yes, are nurses just like myself. So they'll pass along that there's a new uniform shop downtown, so go check them out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right.
Excellent. Yeah, I find word of mouth is probably the best way. Anybody can look at anybody, but if this guy's good, they're on time,
That's
being
true.
prompt, being professional is the key.
Yeah.
So do you, in the future, do you ever want to put on like different kind of like branch off and do different kinds of pageants, like segments, like just little kids or just adults or any kind of like fun?
I haven't thought about doing that yet, because our pageant, it's for all, it's pretty much 3 to 20.
Okay.
But I haven't thought about branching out yet.
Because I know I saw on television here they did a disco pageant.
That
was insane.
Themed pageant.
Themed, yes.
I have thought about it.
Okay.
And so I want to see how this pageant will turn out, and then maybe we'll incorporate
I have an idea.
Themed
Scrub pageants. I think that you guys can work together on doing that.
Yes.
It's a new thing. You can be the first one to start that. Definitely, and I'll be there.
Work the runway.
awesome.
Work the runway. I'll be there with my British accent. I'll be the commentator.
Awesome.
You and I. So we'll do that together.
Yeah.
But it was, once again, it was wonderful to have you guys here. Beautiful time with you guys. Any blessings to you and your businesses.
Thank you.
Okay, and I definitely would love to have you back anytime.
All right, thank you.
Right. And this is Melanie Joy. Once again, this wraps up another episode of LifePoint. Join us again next week when we have more businessmen and women, entrepreneurs, and more exciting things to talk about with you guys. Thank you.